Okay, so like we just showed, I think, is that there's a ton of little things in this unit that I don't think it's hard stuff, but if you don't know all the little symbols and stuff, it's kind of really hard. So it's going to be one of those units again that's going to be really, really easy, or it's going to be really, really hard. Okay? And I think that the thing that's going to change that is a study sheet and knowing every little symbol and practicing it like we do during the homework and during the quizzes. Now, I'm actually going to, on this one, we're going to skip the investigation. We're going to do it last because this investigation is actually very difficult to do first until you kind of know what's going on, and then you come back and you're like, oh, okay, I get it now. So instead of confusing you right off the bat and then saying, hey, let's learn how to do it, why don't we just kind of learn some stuff and then maybe we can come back. Now, Venn diagrams, again, it's the efficiency of math that makes it extremely complicated. It's the shortness and all the symbols, and they could say one long sentence as one little symbol, right? Which is very confusing when you don't know what the symbol means. So a Venn diagram has tons and tons of information in it, but it's all symbolic and it's all like compact and efficient and everything, and again, it makes it like complicated. Now, sets that are not disjoint, they share common elements. Okay, so that's kind of opposite to what the quiz was. I want to know what's disjoint, aka who has nothing in common with each other. Okay, now each area of a Venn diagram represents something different. I know that's kind of a useless sentence, but do with what you want. When two non-disjoint sets, like that's just weird, like two like joint sets might be better. Joint? When two joint sets, that's what that would mean, right? That's your double negative, so they kind of kill each other. So when two joint sets represented in a diagram, you can count the elements in both sets by counting each region of the diagram once. Okay, and we'll talk more about that. Now, here are different parts of a Venn diagram. Now, universal is what U stands for, and U is everything. Okay? Now, when you have these two that overlap, the part that overlap, I call it the football. Okay? And I'll say that a lot. The football. Okay? You get why I call it football? Everyone? Yeah? That's working for you? Good. Hopefully. If I'm losing you there, it's going to be a really rough day. So these are elements in A and B. So this is my AND. That will always represent AND. So this is the symbol for it. This would be A and an upside down U, B. Okay? That's what that means. So again, more symbols. This means AND. But the true word is intersection. Now, the word AND makes more sense when you're talking about, see, that's A and B. So if A was people in physics and B was people in chem, that would be people in physics and chem. Right? Because there's people in both sometimes, right? Now, what if there was an announcement on the, announcement thingy, and it says, okay, if you're taking physics and chem this semester, come to the office. Okay? Now, would that be confusing? Or would just the physics and chem people come? Well, no, let's just say chem 20. So chem 20, physics 20. It said, can anybody taking physics 20 and chem 30 and chem 20 come to the office? Would you think of that as the football, or would you go, well, I'm in physics 20, should I go? That is confusing.
Maybe a better way to phrase it would be everyone taking chem 20 as well as.
Yeah. So they might be more specific and saying, if you're taking both Chem 20 and Physics 20, come to the office. Now, what about if they said this? If you're taking Chem 20 or Physics 20, come to the office. Who would that be? Either or and the ands, correct? Like would you go, I'm taking both of them, so they're not talking about me. Okay? So this is what we're going to call always the and. That means I'm doing both. Now, this, just the orange, would be elements in A but not B. So we write it like this. A with a side slash B. That means that entire sentence in the box. Elements in set A but not in set B. Do you see how hard this part of the diploma will be if you do not know that? Right? So this means A, not B. Okay? So you really want to get this stuff on a study sheet because it is all there's going to be tons of them. By the time we're done this unit, there's going to be all these weird, right, the apostrophes, the slashes, the U that goes upwards, the U that go downward, right? And these are elements in B but not in set A. So we would write that as B slash A. So I'm in B but not A. Okay? So, I mean, I guess I should write in A but not B. This is in B, not A. Now, the only thing we haven't talked about in here is this, when I go A union B. A union B. So this stands for union. Now I think this one's kind of easier to remember because it's the U and the union. Okay? So those two. The other one going the other way is intersection. So intersection is and, union is or. So this means A or B. So if you're in A or B, you're here, here, or here, correct? Here, here, or here. That's A or B. So if you're in Physics 20 or Chem 20, please come to the office. That would include the people in Physics 20, people in Chem 20, and the people in Physics and Chem 20. Okay, so the U is the union, and it means or. Sorry? Well, when we do some examples, I think this is just giving you all the kind of language to deal with, then we're going to talk about working. So, and for intersection, like just right beside it, maybe just put that's always going to be the football, okay? And right, I know it sounds like, okay, yeah, it's not the most scientific word, but that stuff kind of sticks sometimes longer with us. No, the union, or intersection, sorry, that's called the intersection. And the word kind of means that's where they intersect, I get it, right? Now, yes, question? No? Now we're just going to do a Venn diagram. And then we're going to answer a bunch of questions. We'll do a couple of these. Now, the U stands for always your universal set. Okay, so that's basically everything you're dealing with. And then it says, well, A is 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. And B is 2, 4, 6, right? So you could see that A would be all the multiples of 3. And B is all the multiples of 2. Okay? That makes sense? So the first question before you get drawing is, do they share anything? What do they share? Okay, so what I always do, this is how I do it, I actually will draw these, or else I waste a lot of time drawing stupid diagrams and I'm erasing all the time, so I kind of picture before I get going, because if they were disjoint, I wouldn't draw them with a football, right? So now you do know that there will be a football, there will be an overlap. Maybe I'll be very deliberate by going with two colors here, because I can. So if I call this A, and I call this B, now A will be, obviously, everything, that will be my red, right? I'm going to put that in there, but I'm going to be deliberate about putting 6 and 12 there. And then I will put 3, 9, and 15 there. Do you see how that's all of A? Right? That's the set of A. And then B, well, I'm going to put 2, I'm going to put 4. I mean, if you want, you can write, right, there's 6, 8, 10, 12, and 14. So that is just what your drawing would look like. And that's obviously, a skill you need to be able to know how to do. So that's what it would look like. Now, sometimes they'll say draw them, and now they ask different questions. And they will say, determine the number of elements in set A. So here's another thing you have to know. The number of elements is always given like this, n bracket, and whatever is inside. So when they want the number of A, this is the way it is written. So if this was the diploma, it will just say this. What is? That's it. And if you're like, what? What is that? What is N, right? And maybe you'd fluke that one off. You go, that must mean number, okay? But that's how short the sentence will be, and quite easy. You just go count them. But if you're like, I don't even know what NA means. So that's all that sentence can be written like that. So the number in A would be how many? 5, right? Equals 5. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's the number of elements, right? The number of things. So I'm not asking for the numbers. I'm asking for how many. Okay? So this means how many. Okay? Now what are the number of things in A but not B? Now, how could I write that out? In symbol notation. I want to take this sentence and write it out first. No. N A slash B. That's very specific, and it's very different than A, as in question A. It says, hey, I want to know what's the number in A. So how many things are in A but not B? Is 3. Exactly. It's how many. Okay, so write that, when you see N something, they want to know how many. Okay, now, how would I write this out? In set B, how would I write out the question? N brackets B, which would be 7, right? Does everyone see where they are? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so now D should be a little bit easier now that you've seen B. In set B, but not set A. So I would write that as N B slash A. So how many is that? 5. Okay, now in set A and set B, how would I write that out in symbol? I just want to write out the question right now. What would that look like? N, A, upside down U, B. That means intersection. That's the football. How many is that? 2. What's that? Okay, now what does F ask for? N. Yeah, so that is A union B. So how many are in A or B? We got 2? Well, how many? It's 10. Okay? Now, if this was a multiple choice question, though, what do you think would be the biggest distractor? Think about it. No, I think the football would not be a distractor. People would be like, I know it's not the football. Okay? The biggest distractor will be 8. Because people will pick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They'll go, that's and, not or. But the truth is, or includes and. Because if you're in chem or physics, come to the office, like you'd be ridiculous to go, no, I'm in chem and physics, so I don't have to go to the office. Like people would be like, you idiot. Like, yeah, you have to go, right? So remember, this includes and. Okay, and a lot of students mix that up. Okay, so we're going to be very deliberate about saying. Now, here's, again, a very, very short little simple question. Okay, now, what is the way that I could write this? N, A, okay? So what is this saying? How many things are not in A? Okay, it would be, how about these? Am I allowed to count these? No. So it's 1? No. Because if it's not in A, that's in A. So it has to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You wouldn't have noticed the compliment? Okay, we got lots of talking. Do we have questions, or are we just talking? Now, let's do the Venn diagram of the numbers. So let's do an N Venn diagram. Now remember, N stands for how many, not the elements. It's how many of them. So, if this is A, this is B, first of all, what would be the number in the football? 2, the number outside, or just in A? Just in A. So that would be A, not B, correct? Would be 3. And how about in B, not A? 5. Now, do you see how you got to be on your game to not get these two diagrams mixed up? Because if I ask for a number, the amount Venn diagram, you're going to have to go with this. But if I want the elements put in the Venn diagram, you'd go with this. Okay, lots of stuff going on here. Okay, easy to get mixed up. Okay, now we're actually going to look at it from a done Venn diagram and then answer questions. Now there are 38 students in a grade 12 class. So that could be this class. The number of students in drama club and the band are illustrated in this Venn diagram. use the diagram to answer the following questions. Now, not only do I want us to answer them, I want to write out the symbol way of the question, because this entire question can be put in one little thing. It says, how many students are both in drama and band? What's that? Yeah, you want to keep the same variables, D and B. Okay, so how would I write this out? How many students is N? A, or no, we don't have an A. D. Okay, D intersection B is 8. Okay, how many students are in drama club, but not the band? That would be N, B, which equals? Okay. Now, the diploma will ask it like this. What is N D slash B? So, my experience, and some people walk out of the diploma thinking it was so easy, and they do well. Like, I'm not kidding you, right? And there's some people going like, I had no idea, like that whole one unit. And it's like, well, did you know your symbols? No, I didn't know them very well. I go, okay, well, there you go. Okay. Now, how many students are in the drama club? How many students are in band? What are they asking for us? So it is N, A, union B. Now, how many are in only A? Okay, plus, so this is only A. Next would be like the football, right? Which is 8 plus only B. So the answer would be 25. Now, the biggest distractor, people look at how many people, okay, I just want to ask you this way. How many people are in the drama club? 19 in drama, correct? How many people are in band?
14.
Okay, so they add them together and they get 33. And that's the best distractor on the test. Now, why is that wrong? He used 8 twice. But do you see how that's so simple? If they told you there's 19 in drama and 14 in band, and there's 8 in drama and band, how many people? They just take the 19 and the 14. Okay? That will be on the test that I give you, be on the diploma, right? Do not count the middle twice, right? Because you counted those 8. Don't do it again. So it's 11 plus 8 plus 6. Don't go 19 plus 14. Even though, yes, 19 people are in drama and 14 are in band. That's true. But that doesn't mean 33. Okay? So, how many students are in at least one of them? Oh, okay, sec. So we actually, that's this question. So how many are only in drama club? Would have been N, just D. And I don't know why I'm using A. Should have been D, or D union B, right? So that would be just AD, which is 19. Okay, so let's just kind of put this here. So they actually wanted us to, well, we didn't do it wrong. They wanted to screw us up first, and then we would just go and take the shortcut and add those together. Okay, so ND equals 19, ND, so it was two questions, NB equals 14. Okay? So how many are in at least one, right? That's our only A, or A and B, and only B. Now here's how many students are neither in the drama club nor band? But probably the more difficult of this is give me the way to ask that using symbols. No, using symbols, how would I say this entire question using symbols? N, we know that part. Yep. So wouldn't we want the kind of complement of this? So we could go, so it's kind of like double brackets. You'd go D union B. Okay. So that's saying, hey, give me the number that are not in. That's a good question. Well, there's 38 students in grade 12, right? So U is 38. So you'd have to go okay. So what's the formula then? N, the complement of D union B would equal N of U, correct? Yep. The number of universal minus N D U B. Okay, so my universal was 38 minus, okay, Taman? It's too much, okay. Okay, now, they might just ask this. They may say, how many students are neither in drama club or in band? What would be the equation? And you would have to be able to do this. Okay, so not in D or B would be the universal minus R in D and B. Okay, so again, very difficult question if you don't know your symbols. Okay, now let's go to the first page. Okay, so all I want you to do now, I'm gonna pause the recording. I want you to do a Venn diagram of this. In Alberta School, there's 65 grade 12 students. This is a question that will be on your diploma. Of these students, 23 play volleyball, 26 play basketball. There are 31 students who do not play either sport. The following Venn diagram will represent this. Okay, so I want to walk around, see if any of you guys can just do this Venn diagram. Put the numbers in. I don't want to rush through this. Okay, now, probably many of you came to your right answers different ways, but where's the first place you need to go? Okay, all grade 12 students is, what do you call this? That's our universal. Okay, so I'm with you so far. Okay, so just so you know, this is considered the 31, right? The gray is the 31. Okay, did everyone get that? Okay? So, like I can cross this out, I guess. I've got that entire, that's how efficient Venn diagrams are. That entire sentence, I put it in. I put a 31. That's all you got to do, right? Now, I guess probably the next thing would be the biggest hurdle that some students came across. Shout it out. What do you do next? Oh, yeah, it's already labeled. Okay, but I can't put 23 and 26 in. That's like a rookie mistake. Oh yeah, some of you guys went right for that. I'm like, they're not getting it. Yeah, so you're going to have a lot of students. Okay, can I ask you, those two circles together represent what? Grade 12s that play sports, or these two. How many are there? Okay, so we first have to figure that out, that, I don't know where we want it, but 65 minus 31 equals 34. Now, somebody tell me what 34 represents in symbols. N? Let's call it V and B. Volleyball. Or, isn't that the number of people that play volleyball or basketball? Yeah. Okay, so we got that. So these three together, if I call this 1, 2, and 3, those three together must equal 34. Does everyone get that? Yeah. Okay, so we're good there. Now, the hard part is filling in those numbers. Okay, so someone tell me how they started. I mean, some of you got it. Majada, what'd you get?
I added the people who play volleyball to the people who play basketball, which is 49.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so let's slow that down. You took, because if you go 26 plus 23, so we got volleyball is 26, plus basketball is 23. No, sorry, 23 and 26. So I got to make that look more like a V, so we won't get. Okay, so volleyball was 23, and basketball is 26. What does that equal? 49. Now, why does it equal 49? What happened here? That was counted. That middle was counted twice. So let's subtract 34, and we get 15. Okay, so 15 was counted twice. So now, how do we know how many? Now, what does all of this blue have to equal? All of it. 23. So people were putting 23 out here. But that would mean 23 plus 15 people play volleyball. So to find this, I will have to go 23 minus 15 gives you 8. And how about 26 minus 15 would give me 11. Okay, now we're going to do more of this in detail later, but to your credit, I mean, a third of you guys got it, right? And just always make it make sense after. Look, 8 plus 15, 23 people play volleyball, yeah? 26, yeah, that's right, right? And then we've got to make sure that these people have not been represented, right? So, and this is what they wanted to start with, right? This would have been a little overwhelming to start this, but now at least you kind of had, you know, we did some foundation stuff. Now, there's not a lot of work to do. You'll get it done in class, but that's not for the reason so you can take your time to socialize to get there. We want you to actually practice this because, so we're doing page 9. No, you cannot start your quizzes. No, you do that at East. Okay, but page 9, again, all the symbols are in there. It's just 3 questions. And question 3 is to come up with a Venn diagram on your own. Now, I know it's really appealing to go check the answers on that, but struggle through it. Okay? You've got time to... Just page 9, yep. It's not.